Good evening. Welcome to the Power Hour this evening. I'm Steve. I'm here every week. We will be joined by our other cohorts as the evening progresses. C-Red couldn't be with us tonight, so filling in for him is the rather notorious, I guess we should say, Mr. Young. Hello, Mr. Young. How are you and how is the board?
Everything is wonderful, Steve. How are you?
I don't necessarily agree that everything is wonderful. Um,
Everything is wonderful on our end.
Yeah, well, that's true, and I get what you're saying, and I feel it, but I want to bring everybody up to speed on it. So
I
let's
mean, trust me, I'm sure it's went viral, so I'm sure. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Oh, lovely. Oh, wait for it. Wait for it. Yep, yep. Wait for it. Wait for it. Here goes. Ah! Bye bye, arm. Ah, life is good. Life is good. Life is good. You can take it down now.
All right. So here's the thing. I get what the board is trying to do. It's a tale as old as time, the hostile takeover. The good guys pushed too far, trying to get their pound of flesh while taking control of a company that has been made amazing by a great man. And we had that great man on here a few weeks ago, and you ran him down. And then we see the footage from the event of you beating up your son and others. And then then my world got that. Now you're affecting me because
Why?
then this thing came out, and whether I like it or not, we have an association. So when you do stuff, whether you have me in mind, which you didn't in this case, obviously, but we are regarded as, I don't know what you regard us as, but I get all the questions. As soon as that,
Partners?
as,
Partners?
as soon as that video hit, people lost their fucking minds. What the hell?
Why?
Why would he put his hands on a woman? Why would he do this? Why? C red is now C gray. It just you're in a sweatsuit and you take a run and you're Air Jordan taking that running jump from the free throw line to break Renee Van Peebles' arm. Now, I would never be presumptuous enough to question you. And just this morning, I got accused of, not being a very good interviewer and asking prick-like questions and putting myself in harm's way. But what I have to ask you is, of all the people to make an example of all the people to attack that you need to attack to fulfill board agenda, I guess, why in the world would you do it to someone that has been as near and dear to you over the years as Renee Van Peebles? It's almost like watching the the chauffeur get punked out by the person he was driving around, if we want to make a comparison to something that we saw earlier in the week on television. What the fuck?
Well, Steve, it's Stephen. It's so good of you to
Why is
ask.
it that when all of you villainous fink people like Aaron Xavier and you, every time you address one of my fucking questions, you have to call me Steven? It makes me ill. I'm Steve. I've always been Steve. I will always be Steve.
Well,
Only my mother,
but
when she was pissed,
the
called me
proper
Steven.
term is Stephen. So
Motherfucker.
Let me address. See, here are some things that you either you're ignoring or you're not privy to.
Well, I mean, that's certainly possible. I certainly don't know all the ins and outs of C3 wrestling. I have been good friends with the Queen of Mean for my entire career. I coined the nickname. She has been, her and Angel are 1A and 1B of people I have known in this business that have been good to me over the years. Even though
And
Renee and
and
I have
and
always
and
been 9.
and maybe that might be true, but there are also times where you couldn't stand Renee.
There are times where we have been on opposite sides of an issue. That
Okay.
happens, but I've never gone after her to try to whip her ass and injure her
So
permanently.
again, let's take this story again back, shall we?
Now, we're taking the story back, and I'm very interested to hear the tales of the past. But are you telling me the truth, or are you putting the spin that a spin doctor like yourself would put on a story to make
Stephen,
yourself look like the victim? I've had enough fucking victim
I,
cookies on your
I'm
show.
not a victim, Steve. I'm not. And
Continue.
I will tell you now. Again, this simply happened. A offer landed on my desk and I took it. Okay. Now, Chris Classic decided he wanted some people with some money to come into C3 and help build, right? Is it my fault that he didn't read any of the fine print?
No.
Is it my fault that he didn't have his people do a deeper dive of who the board was? No. He was very anxious to get the deal done, and the deal got done. He got a check, he signed a contract, but now he has to live with those consequences, Steve, if you understand what I'm saying.
I
Now,
certainly I understand.
now you asked the wonderful question, why Renee? So, as I stated earlier, maybe you're not privy to, but there's also another video out there of after my son was disciplined with his friends, and they said they should have saw this coming. They said they should have known. Miles even went to say, I told you so. And the ARC is dead. There is no more ARC.
Because you killed it.
No, because the problem is that they believe that they are the ARC.
Well, I mean, they're
And
both championship superstars. Of course they're the ARC.
well, but are they, Stephen? Who started the ARC?
Aaron Xavier.
And
Let's see who else was involved in that thing. And as far as the birth of it, let's see, it was Xavier, it was John Hudson,
no,
it was
who
Willie.
started it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Aaron is. You think I'm going to sit here and say, "Oh, it was you and Aaron Xavier that started the ARC"? Because
Thank
that's
you.
not true.
That is true.
It was a happy accident that you became involved with it, in my opinion.
No, it's not a happy accident. When he came to me, go. If you don't believe me, you can call him yourself.
We don't talk to him on this show anymore.
And I understand your disdain, but truth is that's what happened, Stephen. There was a little company that you know so very well, Stephen, CSW.
Chicago style wrestling.
And whether people like to admit it or not, me and Aaron Xavier used to work for that company.
Yes, those were definitely the dark ages.
Oh no, there weren't. There were good times.
Were they good times?
But but even then, Aaron had a proposition. He asked me. We joined forces. I accepted.
And then you
Now,
guys went ahead and killed Crash Tested Wrestling, as you do.
hey, people didn't want to fall in line. We're sorry. Anyway, so I created, along with Aaron Xavier, the ARC. And if you remember, Aaron left the ARC.
Yes.
So at that point, it's all me. It's been me for years. For years. But the young people are so ungrateful these days
The young people, for God's sake.
that Stephen, they are what they are. They they don't understand when they're put in certain places.
They are your family.
No, they're not.
You
Now,
cut
I
out
will,
your
I,
family.
Stephen, understand. Out of that entire situation, one is family.
I call bullshit.
One,
Red. I'm sorry, Mr. Young. You guys are like twins. It's so difficult to tell you apart.
I know we're both handsome. Thank you.
You are on record over and over through the years and the promotions saying ARC is family. I've heard it come out of your mouth time and time again, not just about your son, because he's never really been in the ARC until now. I'm talking about Miles and Renee and Willie and Hudson and even Rion for a period of time was in the ARC, although it was begrudgingly. That's why I think
No,
Rion didn't want to be on the show tonight
we again
because I think
we
he's
made
very upset with you.
we made an offer that guess what? He could not refuse. And guess what they got him? Tag team championship. Did it or did it not?
It certainly did. But his absence tonight should tell you all you need to know about your shenanigans.
Stephen, my shenanigans. No, again, you let's stay on topic. You asked the question
Yes. Why?
why again when you tell me that um hold on, Stephen. Uh,
Red's gonna have to do some off-screen coaching for the moment. Um, his diatribe is very interesting tonight as he gets himself in order. I don't think he can keep his own thoughts together.
Stephen, I have my thoughts together.
Oh, you're back suddenly.
Understand. Let's deal with Renee.
Let's deal with Renee.
Renee was a victim of happenstance. Everybody, oh, it's a woman. Oh, really? How many times do we see a woman step into the ring? This isn't the first time we've ever seen a man. So hell, we just last week. Did you or did you not have the queen, former queen champion Russell in on our show?
We did. And
Okay, up,
I
up, up, up. So this isn't new through the histories and annals of time.
it's new.
Not in the square circle. No, it's not.
Yeah, but see, there was no squared circle anywhere around that gymnasium or cafeteria. You took a hit out on Renee Van Peebles and you victimized her and you hurt her. maybe ending a career. We don't know how serious that arm injury is. There was no wrestling ring, Red. This is not an intergender match, Red. This was you punking out your friend. This was you attacking a woman, a friend, family. You attacked her unprovoked. You
No,
attacked her outside
this
square circle.
this is me. If I help create it, I can help destroy it. Nobody else. Nobody else. The only other person maybe is Aaron Xavier. And I will be more than willing to sit down and talk to him. And maybe we need to demolish everybody. But he's busy other places doing other things that's causing such a rapture. So,
We don't want to mention the rapture on this show. I just want to get this out there one more time. You were not involved in a wrestling match versus a woman. It was not an intergender match. It was nothing like Brittany Kay and Russell. It was nothing like Sierra and Warhorse. It was nothing like Maggie and Workhorse. You attacked your friend at work in a
no,
cafeteria and you broke her arm, maybe ending her career.
wasn't a
You assaulted Renee Van Peebles. That's what you did. This is not the name of wrestling. This is way outside the box of wrestling.
Oh no.
You attacked your friend who happens to be a woman, and now you're being called to the carpet for it.
There's a complete call for it because, again, you're going against the grain. When you understand, we told everybody at C3 that guess what? There's a new day. Things are changing. People are either you're with us or you're against us. And the ARC decided they wanted to be against us. See, that's the problem. They wanted to be too big for their britches.
I don't see that at all. They said they knew you were going to do something, and she said, "I guess we're on our own now." So that's worthy. Did they do anything against the board? No, they did nothing. They had a conversation, and you decided to go Bruce Lee on her ass. So let me ask you this: if Cactus on this show says, "I think the board sucks," are you going to show up at roller derby and try to kick her ass? Because I'd like to see that shit.
See,
By
first
the
of all,
way,
Stephen,
hello, Cactus.
Hey girl, hey. I'm not sure what I just walked into, but
Did
carry
you
on.
see the video of Red perpetrating a heinous act in the lunchroom of a cafeteria?
it wasn't a cafeteria. Oh my
It looked
God.
like a cafeteria to me, Red.
It was not a cafeteria. Trust
Somebody
There were
send me the
kids, there was
video to
children
watch.
watching you.
me. That was an unforeseen accident. Understand, Cactus, if you need to be caught up. Renee got a little boo-boo. And
Okay.
now the world is in an uproar because now nobody's seen her or heard from her, and oh, poor Renee. Um, so, but nobody remembers when she's been a bitch. Nobody remembers when she's cussed out other people and attacked other people on her own. No,
In the
understand,
purview of the wrestling climate, not at work.
Stephen.
Cactus, did you see the video?
I did not. I was just asking if someone could send me a link to the video.
No. We're gonna do better than that, Cactus. I'm not gonna let you. You're gonna see this, and you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. We're gonna watch this again. It's deplorable, it's detestable, but it has to be seen. Red says this is wrestling related. This is because this is like an intergender match. That's Red's justification for this shit. There is nothing about that is true. So here we go. Let's go back to their work.
Okay. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Okay. And you didn't get fired for this?
Watch this. Here comes Air. Here comes Air Young.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now what? Look at the background and look at the children that are
Those are
coming in from
those.
recess.
First of all, those are not children. Those are staff and adults.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see any children. However,
That was done in a workplace. I'm pretty sure HR has policy against an attack.
you didn't get fired for this?
No, I just left work.
Okay,
Was
okay.
that what about wrestling bared any resemblance to that sneak attack?
It wouldn't be a sneak attack then, would it?
Cactus, help me out here.
When did this happen?
Oh, a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
It's
Okay.
gone viral. It has
Gone-
gone fucking
I'm
viral.
not surprised it's gone viral.
I'm getting messages. Why are you friends with that man? I had a very respectable presence in this business say, what is he doing?
See, the thing about it though is that Red is normally so contained.
This isn't Red. This is Mr. Young.
Or okay, Mr. Young. Maybe he's really, really angry.
Maybe he's really angry.
Maybe
Thank
he's really,
thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love you, Cactus.
I love you too.
You understand.
I do. I get it.
Here, these are young people that I took under my wing. I showed them the ropes. I tried to get them the exposure they needed. I'm the one that put money in producing t-shirts and pictures and everything so they can get their faces out there, so they can explore the wonderful world that we call professional wrestling.
And where's your appreciation?
Where is it?
Where
There
is
is none.
What
all
is
because
happening here
all
right now?
because they decide they don't want to go with the grain of the new company. They were, even before I was announced, they were offered an invitation to join the board. They already are champions. They could have easily said, sure. But you know what? They slapped the governor's hand.
Because the
And told
governor's a little bitch.
well, maybe you feel that way, Stephen.
Maybe we ought to get the governor up. Maybe I'm talking to the wrong person. Maybe I ought to get the governor up in this shit. Maybe I need to hold his ass accountable for it. Because I consider Renee my friend, and I am not at all happy about this.
Stephen, are there really any friends in this business?
Uh,
we have sat here for months, have we not, Stephen? We have sat at tables together, Stephen, and have we not seen friends who weren't friends turn on friends?
yes, we have. If you're speaking about Shaq Jordan, yes, I still have marks on my back.
Let's be honest. You just left an event this past weekend where two men that you used to call friends are now made men.
Okay, so that's great. Fine. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here. I'm not.
I'm sure. All I'm saying is, Steve, you asked why, and I'm going to give you a simple reason. Even you can understand. Okay? It's a quote from one of my favorite movies. Okay? It's business. It's never personal.
And I'm going to quote one of my favorite movies in response. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance down upon thee.
And I did.
That's where you're gonna have problems, sir.
And I did.
You remember, you're on sabbatical. You're no longer a wrestler. You're living this great life. Fraternities, you're living the life of Riley. So then you decided to worm your way back into C3. You're on the board now. You're
First of
control.
all, you say I wormed. No, there was an offer put on the table.
Red, you and I both know that the only offer you're accepting from anyone is total control. So let's not pretend I'm an idiot here. I know that they probably made you an offer. You made a counter offer, and I know how this works because I've watched you work for more than a decade. Let's not pretend like you accepted an offer. You solicited it. They gave it to you. You gave them the counter offer. Now you beat up Renee Van Peebles because of it. This is so your MO, Mr.
But
Young.
it's business. It's
Yeah,
never personal.
it's personal. You and I have very different definitions of personal because when I watched you put her arm in a chair and then take a running start like Jordan from the free throw line and jump on that woman's arm and I heard the snap, you're not telling me that's business.
That's all business.
Personal. You are lying to yourself. You're
I'm
lying
not.
to
I would never
C3.
lie to myself. Honestly, Steve, I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken
You're heartbroken.
that again, especially my son. My son chose these people over me. That Miles, remember, he was a pre-show. He was a pre-show act. And then he got with me and became what? The king of the whole show.
I'm gonna stop you there. Miles Mercer has been fantastic since day one. Miles Mercer got himself from the pre-show
Did
main
did
show.
he? Did
Yeah.
so it's so
I mean, people can be fantastic and still not be able to get the right spotlight.
What's happening? Lux, what are
thank you.
you doing?
And Steve keeps missing the fact that, yeah, that might be true, but is it? Because it wasn't until he got with this guy that he started getting title shots, main events, championships. Correct, Steve?
I guess. You know what? I'm gonna take a deep breath and I'm gonna relax, or else next week on JFW, I am gonna be talked about for 20 minutes about how I just am not good at my job. So I'm gonna calm down. I'm not gonna get mad at you, Mr. Young. You have a method for your madness, I'm sure. My question is, what purpose did that serve? Attacking Renee Van Peebles without provocation and reason and potentially ending her career. What purpose does that serve in the grand scheme of things?
One, it tells everybody not to mess with the board, doesn't it?
Or
Two,
it pisses everybody off and everybody rallies around their fallen hero
do they?
or
Let's
fallen
let,
angel. I
let's
don't know.
let's
I got all
let's
messed
be
up with
honest.
it.
As bad as Renee treats people, do you think people want to rally around her? I mean, yes, of course, Stampede and Miles and Steel will, but do you think the rest of C3 will rally behind her outside of those three and maybe Chris Classic? But he has enough to worry about by the right hand of God. So he doesn't have time to worry about Renee right now because his career could be coming to an end in less than a month. So I don't think he's gonna rally around. So who's gonna do it, Steve? Who's gonna show up and Renee, we're behind you? No, they're not. You know why? Because all those things that Renee says to people, the way, as you stated, you gave her the name, the Queen of Mean. Mean? Would you want to rally behind someone who's treated you mean, who's treated you like scum under your shoe, like the dog feces that you step in the grass by accident? Would you want to rally behind someone like that? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. And they're not, Stephen. They're not. Right now, in a month, C3 presents, the board presents Press Start 3. And guess what? They all have to be worried. See, because we've already announced Steele, and he has to face somebody that nobody wants to face. Classic has his career on the line. And we just announced I didn't find them, but I love how the governor thinks. And he went out and found two guys that don't care about me to take on Miles and Stampede. Do you see anybody else rushing to sign their contracts for the next show? And it's a month away. They're not. They're not. There's a new change. My favorite older song, I should say. And you know this song, Stephen, and I'm sure our lovely Cactus knows it. Sam Cooke. A change is gonna come. And it's coming. It is here. And either you get in line, or you just be dealt with. However we see fit. We do things, and I like to use the phrase that everybody loves, is best for business. Last show, standing room only. We did that. See, it took a while for me to understand Damian Saint's thinking, but I get it.
Whoa.
We did that. We did that. So, I mean, Renee, I'm sorry. It's business. It's never personal.
Captain,
Ah!
any response to this nonsense?
I think I still stand by. It sounds like Red has been disrespected and not treated fairly, and therefore these are the natural consequences.
Oh, there's that word, Steve. There's that word, Steve. Steve, what was the name of the group, Steve? Say it. Say it, Steven.
No, not
Actions, actions, reactions, consequences. Right?
yes.
My actions, I joined the board. Their reaction is to dog my name and say I'm old and I'm no good. So there's consequences. Renee found out those consequences.
Yep. Her mouth wrote a check that her ass couldn't cash, as the great Fred Durst once said.
It's heel cactus, I swear to God.
It's
I
not.
never saw this coming in a
It's a
million years.
common sense cactus.
I don't know about that. I don't know if you saw the same video that I did. Okay, so you're talking about consequences and you're talking about actions, reactions, what about your consequences? What about your consequences? Because let me tell you this respectfully, all you've done is burn every bridge,
Have I?
every bridge. And you've got your new people now. You've got the governor and you've got all the nonsense of the board, but you are opportunists, all of you, and you will eat each other for lunch, and this will not be around very long. Factions like this never are. Look at evil gains an evil.
But
Cancel
Steven,
itself out right quick. The rapture is self-destructing as we speak.
mm, are they?
The
Mm,
made the
not
made
what I
men,
heard.
the same thing is going to happen. You guys, it's like
Steven, here's the problem, Steven. You keep saying things like faction. We're not a faction, Steven. We are a group of business people that had a business plan.
you know who else was a group of business people that had a business plan? The LRP. How'd that work out?
Well, we're not LRP, are we?
Well, maybe you are starting to think that maybe there's a white phenom hanging around the block there.
Oh no,
Not
they're
just Chicago elite, brother.
no, they'll
Are
be
you going to
back. They
show up
just
there too? Where's your mask?
maybe I will. I'm just saying. They just said they got new date and a new venue. Can't wait to see that one. Anyway, um,
Take off your mask and we'll have you back. Plain and simple.
anyway,
Moving on.
anyway, we're business people. Again, understand none of this. See, and you're trying to put the blame in my lap, but you're not giving it to Chris Classic. You're giving no blame to him. He signed the contract. He took the check. He deposited the check.
You Trojan horsed him.
Stephen, everything was in the contract. A good person,
Was that
uh,
contract written by
Steve,
Schultz?
Stephen, hey, it doesn't matter who it was written by. Stephen, right now, if your lovely bride decides she wants to remodel the kitchen, right?
Okay.
You're going to take some bids, right?
I would
And you're going to go with the best offer, right?
I would probably tell her no, we're not remodeling anything.
Well, you see where I'm going.
I see where you're going with it, but I'm not going to make it easy for you.
But still, you're going to read the contract before you sign it, aren't you?
Yes.
You're going to read everything to make sure there's no underlying loopholes or they can take 5 days off and work one day on your kitchen and leave it in the show. No, you're going to read the contract before you sign it. Chris Classic didn't do that.
I am
Chris Classic signed the contract, took the check, deposited the check. He, matter of fact, got the check and deposited the same day. I have the receipts. So you're blaming us as the board when the person that should be blamed is Chris Classic.
Let me ask you a question. What is it with all of you elderly bosses in this business suddenly
Even
deciding
you're maybe use a different word.
Right. He keeps forgetting he's older than I am.
I'm making a point. Elder statesmen, the elder statesmen, the experienced veterans in this business, all of a sudden, everybody with 25 to 30 years, as they are watching their mortality in the window, decide we better go get ours quick. And everything's about, I never got my due. I never got my respect. It's your fault. Pointing the finger, blaming everybody, everybody, everybody. Everywhere I look, somebody that was a hero to some is now turning into a piece of trash. You talked about the made men earlier. They're victims. You talk about the rapture, victims. They're going to make everything right because it's their time. Their time was gone long ago. Same thing with the made men. All of you, and what are you following the Pied Piper Cena? It's all about being a victim now, and you're not gonna take it anymore. You're gonna do it because that's what you got to do. What the hell's happening here?
Well, first of all, I thank you for that wannabe compliment, but I would like to think that they understood. Maybe maybe he finally figured out that
Was there
get
a
yours.
wrestling union meeting that said everybody that's got 25 plus suddenly has to call their old shit victims, and now we're going to be bad people
Well,
hurting
here's the
the young
thing.
people?
We're not victims. We're not. Again, simple business. We give you a contract, you don't read it, you don't read the fine print. It's not our fault. It's
Suddenly, the
not.
most trustworthy man in this business is J.R. Lindsay because at least you know where you stand with him, and he's crazy as a bag of cats. But
Well,
at least he's consistent.
yeah, consistent living in his car. I'm not. Again,
So
Stephen, I can't, as much as I love the made men, I can't speak on their doing. Is I The rapture is the rapture. I can't speak on it. We are businessmen. We presented an opportunity again, and we took it again. And all Chris Classic had to do was play ball. Just play ball. And he didn't want to do that. He wanted to go against the contract.
so
So now the things that he didn't read are happening.
the only rational thing to do in this case is to eliminate Renee Van Peebles from wrestling and hurt her. That had to be done.
Why not?
I don't know. It seems kind of cowardly.
No, it seems meticulous
I'm
because guess
pretty
what?
sure why didn't you go after Stampede?
Because somebody,
Because he'd have fucked you up is why you didn't go after Stampede.
hey,
Why
he
did you
would
go
have had
after
to catch him.
Miles? Because Miles would have fucked you up if you went after Miles.
But think about it. You talked about Renee in such great fashion and how she stood up to everybody. Well, did she stand up in that video?
Because you snuck up behind her, hit her with a chair, and then victimized her for well over 2 minutes. And then you
Was
put
it
her arm in a steel chair and you jumped on it.
I did do that.
I'm disappointed, Red, or
I'm
Mr.
not.
Red, whoever the
I'm
hell
not.
you are.
I'm not. Understand. You have to send a message out to people. Let Stephen, you go to work tomorrow, right? And there's been somebody that's been stealing time and not doing their work, and everybody else sees this. The boss comes out, calls a meeting, and says, "Hey, you're fired." Why? He had to make an example and show everybody else this wouldn't be tolerated, right?
You go out there and you fire. That makes sense. My boss is not coming to my shop and going to hit somebody in the back of the head with a chair. You could
But
have
that's how.
fired her.
But
Fired her is
that's
the same thing. You did that
and
because
fired,
you wanted to.
fired, attacked. It's all the same. Tomato, tomato. You know, I take great pleasure. And again, maybe her arm isn't broken.
I'm going to give you an opportunity here. I'm going to give
To
you an
me,
opportunity to
me,
save your soul and try to get yourself out of this predicament. Take a moment,
take a moment.
think about the roses,
Okay, think about the
apologize
roses.
to Renee Van Peebles.
Okay, so
Apologize to Renee. Tell
you
her you
said
were wrong
you
and you're
said the
fired.
roses. I love it. So I'm gonna give myself some roses.
No, I
Are
don't
you
want you to give yourself roses. That's not what I said.
Mr. Young, do you want roses? Yes, C Red. I would love some roses. Okay, well, here you go. Mr. Young, you are smart, you are intelligent, you are bright. I've watched your career for over 20 years. You do things in such an elegant manner. And I just want to tell you here tonight on the Power Hour with Steve and our lovely co host Cactus that you are appreciated and you are loved. Oh, C Red, thank you so much. I am so grateful and thankful for those kind words. I appreciate it. Oh my God. I never thought I hear you say that. Thank you so much. Oh, you're gonna bring me to tears. Okay? Really, tears. You're more than welcome, Mr. Young. There you go, Stephen. The roses.
I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Okay. That's splendid. I have no follow-up for that. Gave you a chance to be a man, gave you a chance to be a good man,
Be a man.
and you decided
Hold
to
on. I'm still a man.
give you a chance to stand up and set an example and be a
Oh,
good
you,
person,
you,
and you
you
chose
want me to
not.
stand up? You can't see me now? Can you see me now?
No, I can't
No.
see you.
Okay. All right. There we go. Ah, you can't see me, Steven. You can't get it. You can't see me.
Yeah,
Ah.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I wish I didn't, but I do. Got to be careful here because my responses and everything that I try to do on this show will be scrutinized next week on JFW. And don't want to have to sit through another JFW podcast where they just rain down hate. Turtle tried to defend, but it's the subtle. You see, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to segue into this because this now that I'm irritated with you, this is on my
Why are
mind.
you irritated with
You know what?
me?
You know what? We're going to change the whole dynamic of this fucking show tonight. Okay,
I love you.
we're gonna change the whole thing right fucking now. Okay, I told everybody that what, come back at the end of December, December 17th. That'll be my Burning Bridges tour. So now we might burn a few tonight.
Why?
We're part of the Freaknet Studios network, and we're proud to be part of it. Proud to be part of that group. JFW debuted a new member today, Apex, former MMA superstars, now on that show. So I was very excited to listen to it. And then I shared it and said, welcome Apex to Freaknet Studios, trying to support the brand. And the next thing I get is Turtle saying, yes, Steve, we talked about you. What? First of all, why? Didn't really do anything. Haven't really done anything. They decided they wanted to talk about my in-ring interviews, and they talked about how Angel said Travis was the best, and there's a lot of things they discussed, and you can go back and listen to it. There's plenty of opportunities to. I shared it, so it's on my Facebook page if you want to go back and listen to it. They say I'm not telling it exactly the way it was. I'm listening but not listening, and they do that a lot. When you hear something, you perceive it how you perceive it. Whether it's their intent or not, I don't know. But I got what I got out of it. Okay. And Travis is such a great spin doctor. That's, I think, his gift. He hurls insults inside of compliments like Thor hurls his hammer. So it's really quite spectacular most times, unless you're on the business end of it. So I've had what I thought was a good relationship with him. But when I look back over our years and our time together, I realized that he's had this animosity for me for the entire time I've known him. And he'll pepper in a compliment here and there, but he just tears me down all the rest of the time. So it's like you never know which way it's gonna go. So I got some of that today on the JFW podcast, which is it's just fine. It's standard operating procedure. So I'm responding to it. I'm like, okay, I heard it. I get it. And I didn't like it, but I still shared it and still responded to it. And they teamed up and they decided to, say, well, you misunderstood and he always spins it his way, and that's fine, but it's all unnecessary. If you don't like what I do, whether in the ring or on commentary, don't watch. Don't listen to it. Travis, you might be the guy that sits in my chair when I'm gone. I've certainly recommended you. That would be great. Have at it. If you can do it better than me, do it. It doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is you hurling this stuff out there without giving me a chance to respond to it. And that's fine. In December, we'll come back and we'll revisit everything. And I'll have a nice send off for all the detractors. The interviews I do, the one with Ben McCoy is the one that got the most heat this morning. I asked Ben a series of questions that were pertinent to the situation we were in. His daughter was held in the ring after she tried to save her father from an attack by the Rapture. The Rapture put his daughter in harm's way.
Correct.
Sierra and Avalon came and saved both of them, but it was the nick of time. So I asked Ben, has it all been worth it? Your daughter being put in harm's way. So Ben went off on me about speaking about his daughter. I wasn't saying anything but recounting what occurred in my question, was it worth it? So what did Ben say? Ben took a pot shot at my mother who passed away.
Ooh.
I invite you to watch it. Now, I know that the people on the Power Hour don't necessarily watch all the shit, but I invite you to watch it at some point because it was good theater until that happened. And then the Shaq Jordan situation was going just fine. And I maybe did create that situation by calling him a punk, but that's what he was being. Grandstanding with Gunner's music and being all out of control. He deserved what he got. I'm not sorry for it. I have said this since day one. I sit here and I talk about what I observe, whether it be on commentary, ring announcing. If I have an opinion about something, I will stand behind it 100%. If I get my ass kicked over it, so be it. But I never back down. Have you ever seen me back down except one time? I backed down once. And that's when Rion eviscerated Turtle and then turned and looked at me. And I laid there like Randy in A Christmas Story, like a slug. It was my only defense. Because I didn't want that smoke. Because I knew it was coming. My friend Rion had turned into the real deal and wanted to teach me a lesson. Maybe I should have let him teach me that lesson. Maybe he will still teach me a lesson. I don't know, because I never know what Rion means half the time. I try to, but I don't know. He puts me in situations. I try to rise to the occasion. Is he teaching me a lesson, or does he just like watching me get beat up? That's a question to ask him. He's not here tonight. I can't ask him. But that doesn't change the fact that it's there. So, JFW, if you don't like what I do, don't watch it. If you don't like where I'm at, don't go there. But, then stop asking me to give you results and help you out. If you don't like me, that's great. Then you don't have to like me. Plenty of people don't like me. So that's my little JFW speech. Thoughts and comments?
Well,
I'm going to comment the only thing I always comment. Why are you so worried about Travis when Travis will never say any of this to your face?
Oh, he's going to get that, and he's going to talk about you, and he's going to
Of course
say,
he's going to talk about me. Of course he is. Because that's what he does. He talks about people because he can't talk to people.
I maybe thought that I had developed a better friendship with Travis, and I was disappointed. I shouldn't be, because like Red said earlier, I'm sorry, like Mr. Young said earlier,
oh, he gone. He left.
do we really have any friends? Now I'm starting to wonder.
Well, first of all, um, Mr. Young said he had to go deal with business. So
I'm sure. Never personal.
never personal. Um, but me and Cactus, we don't like you. We love you. You already know that.
Yeah, we're your friends.
Um, I would disagree. Now, I have not seen the interview with Ben. Um, so the only thing I will say about that is uh, being a father of multiple daughters, and I laugh about that because there are multiples. Um, a father feels a certain way about his daughter. You know, they always say, and if you never paid attention, mothers and sons and fathers and daughters, and that's how it should be. Um, you get very protective. And I just think a parent over a child, period, is very protective. Steve, you are a parent. Cactus is a parent. I think if both of you were put in a situation where your child was in danger, you would say to hell with every fucking thing, and you would protect your child because
Yeah.
your child comes first.
Yes.
Um, and a lot of times when we see our children in harm's way, uh, we become protective, but then it also becomes what's the word I want to use? A soft spot.
Sore
And
spot.
a sore spot. There we go. Thank you. See, I love her. Um, and I honestly want to think it wasn't necessarily you, even though you said he took that shot at you, and I apologize.
You know what, Red?
That
You know what, Red? I'm going to take a page out of Rion's book. You know what? I got time tonight. You know what? I got time.
hold on, no, let us finish
Let
because
him finish.
we got other stuff. We
Because
got other stuff.
I don't want to talk about this anymore without you understanding the fucking context you're talking about.
Steve, you don't need to show it because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain the whole video in 2.3 seconds. Understand the rapture, right? Who created the rapture?
Ben,
Who attacked his daughter?
the rapture.
Now, can you understand? He created something that became bigger than him, and now it's backfiring. It's not necessarily a direct attack on you, but inside, he technically caused, it's cause and effect. Again, I hate to use the pun, actions, reactions, consequences. His actions, he becomes the creator, right? The reaction is someone we know very well decided, I'm going to take over the rapture from the inside. The consequences being, we're not only going to attack you, but your child. So he has to feel some guilt. He has to carry that burden that essentially, when you look back on it, he created this mess. Nobody else. The creator created the mess. And now the man doesn't know how to deal with it. The man had to watch his creation put his child in harm's way. And I guarantee you, it's eating at him. How many times have we seen the news? And this is just being honest, where we've seen a child under the age of 10 find a loaded weapon and accidentally shoot himself or somebody else. It happens, right? As a parent, you never want to say and think, why did I leave that out? Why did I leave that in a space where that child could get to it. Why did I? Because essentially, sometimes it's the parent or adult that is put behind bars, right? They're the ones that's charged. They're the ones that go to prison. And he's suffering the worst of all, the prison of his mind, Steve. He can't let it go because he knows he created this mess. Now, that's all I'll say about the Ben video. I've seen you do videos with Kurt Angle, interviews, I should say. I think me and Cactus would agree. Wonderful interview.
I agree.
You've done interviews with people that, guess what? I'm kind of jealous of. But I don't let that, oh, I'm jealous of Steve, so let me hate. No, I'm happy that you've had those opportunities. I think some people, and I could be wrong, but some people wish that they had those opportunities. Why don't I get to interview people that have affected this business in such a way? Why don't I get to a lot of people, let's be honest, aren't getting their phones rang and doors knocked down to ring announce NWA or uh, BGMs at companies, or let's just be honest. So could there be a little bit jealousy? It could be, you know, but at the end of the day, I think Cactus really summed it up. She said it all. Why let it bother you, Steve? You are one of the best at what you do. You act, to the people that say you don't ask the hard hitting questions, I would disagree. Clearly, you asked the question to Shaq that did what?
Got me beat up.
Rattled the nerve. Well, you got hurt. You didn't get beat up. You got hurt. But again, you wouldn't have got beat up or hurt if you hadn't asked a question that hit a nerve, right?
Right.
And this isn't the like you've been doing this for years, okay? Let's be honest. I've seen you ask questions to people, and again, you might not start off like, bam, here you go. No, you have a way of walking through the situation and then hitting the question, the real question that everybody wants to know. Now, guess what? Just because that's not my way of doing things or somebody else's way of doing things, that doesn't mean you're wrong. That just means you do things you do the way you do. And I don't, again, we're in the 4th month of the year. And I'm going to be honest, in 8 more months, I'm going to be sad. I've already stated this to my family because this is part of my life now. Seeing you and Cactus every Tuesday, whether it's for
Agreed.
an hour, sometimes 3 hours.
That's
Sometimes
fair.
4.
Have we ever
Yeah,
gone 4? I don't think we've ever gone 4.
we
I think
haven't
we've
went
gotten
4.
pretty close.
Before Cactus got here, we went 45 minutes.
That's because the guests we had didn't have much to say.
Right, and they only went 15. Um, and we had to stretch out the other 30. Um, you do what you do. And again, I love what you do. Do I always agree? Sometimes when you bring on surprise guests, no. Do
There are
I
times I
always?
want to tranquilize you.
Oh, there are times where again I really want to just freeze my frame, get in the car, drive to his house and shoot a blow dart in his neck.
Exactly.
Okay. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't change these past few years with me and you and Cactus and Rion. I wouldn't. Even before they came along, I wouldn't change it.
Well,
Um,
that made me feel better a little bit. And
you,
to JFW, I don't know, man.
Steve,
Why do
you
you need to
already
say
said it.
anything to the, why do you need to say anything to them at all?
Because I feel like, I just don't, they're gonna sit there and they're gonna do their thing and they're gonna tear this all down.
Okay, say this after me, Steve.
Yes.
The day I
The day I
care about what a man thinks about me
care about what a man thinks about me
is the day I die.
is the day I die.
I want you to repeat that to yourself.
I will keep repeating it. Anyway, like I said, we're all supposed to be family. And when I listened this morning, I didn't feel very much like family. And we don't go out of our way on this show to tear down. We try to build up. But I guess that's not everybody's cup of tea. But I guess we'll see what happens. Tune in next week to JFW on Freaknet Studios. I'm sure they'll have a response, and that'll be great. Couple other things to talk about while we're here. Tonight we were supposed to have Grin on the show. Unfortunately, work called and Grin couldn't make it.
Thank God.
Very disappointed because
I'm not.
he really wanted to talk to you, Red.
No, I don't want to
He
talk to
wanted
him.
to free your mind. He said that was his mission tonight, was to free your mind. He says your mind has been in captivity too long. It needs to be freed.
I'm a grown ass man. My mind is free. Trust me.
Then, when we decided to interview Mr. Young, I reached out to the
You want me?
convalescing Renee Van Peebles.
You want me to?
She couldn't make it tonight either because she's having a procedure on her injured arm. So we wish her well. And like I said, you'll always be the queen to me. Let's shift our intentions to where Cactus and the Knockouts were this past Saturday night.
Do you want to start or should I?
Well, I wasn't there. I mean, that's the thing that obviously Wrestle League's anniversary shows are always great. And I was disappointed that I didn't get to, because I was asked, I got a call from Shogun Chris Logan, hey, can you come and do commentary? But I was already committed, so I couldn't back out on Frontline, nor would I. But I wouldn't be at Frontline Pro if I hadn't met Ben at Wrestle League. So I owe a great deal to Shogun Chris Logan and Wrestle League for some of the opportunities that I have. But
You should have called me. Damn it, I'm mad now.
But I couldn't be there. So it looked like it was Swole Dixon and Louis the Wrench doing commentary. Now,
Yes, it was.
Swole is spun gold. I would listen to him read a phone book. Louis, not so much. He got hit in the head with a wrench one too many times for the cartel. But I'm sure it was inspiring. I really wanted to do commentary on the Brittany Russell match, but that wasn't meant to be this time. But the thing that blew my mind the most was the knockout presence at the HF Auditorium. My God, you guys, to your credit, came out in absolute force.
Yep. I actually, at one point, I was directing someone to where we were, and I said, look up at the bleachers, and you'll see an entire concentration of goths, and that's us. And we were just all over that left side of the stands from top to bottom.
It was amazing to see a group of united folks there to cheer on Andy and to cheer on wrestling in the building that is called the Knockout Dome for a reason. So I was thrilled. My God, I would love to have that kind of response at a wrestling event with those knockouts. I mean, I did when I was at NWA. You and Euro Thrash and Judgment Dave. You guys came out to watch my shtick out there, which I will always be grateful to. That's the closest I've ever come to crying in the ring when I saw you guys, because I was so overwhelmed. When family comes to watch you do anything, it's emotional because they could do anything with their night, but they decided you were important enough to invest time and money in to see you perform. So, boy, if I ever get back in that ring again, I would love to have the Knockouts come out and see it because what a special group of people. And you guys look like you had the time of your lives.
Oh, we did. We had a fantastic time. We all lost our voices. It was funny because, obviously there's a difference in what you do in a wrestling ring and what you do in roller derby. So there's different things you'd say. And at one point, so Drew Bronson, formerly known as Andy, and Muggsy James debuted their new tag team, Born Low, and it was a four-way tornado tag. And at one point, Muggsy was on one side of the ring, and Drew Bronson was on the other. And we're trying to tell, we're yelling, we're trying to tell, Drew to go help Muggsy. And so we're screaming, "Help your jammer! Help your jammer!" which is a very roller derby specific chant.
Yes, it
Uh,
is. That's great.
yeah.
Did
And
I hear right? Is Andy on skates now?
he is on skates.
Oh my fucking God. I can't wait to see that.
I don't know what possessed him, but he did it. He actually passed the little test yesterday to move up to the practices with the big dogs. So I told him I'm not going easy on him. I'm not going to be nice. And he posted he was so excited. He can't wait to practice with us on Thursday. I just responded with a gif of like Skeletor's face laughing superimposed over the castle because he's in for a rude awakening. Although he does now understand why I'm so exhausted. Oh, after just about anything involving Derby.
It is an incredible test of skill, will, and physical prowess to skate circles on that track at the speed you do with the violence that occurs all around every corner. Uh,
Mm.
so I can't wait to see that. So, how was Wrestle League Anniversary? Was everything we hoped it would be?
It was fantastic. Obviously Brittany beat the snot out of Russell. The entire place blew up when she pinned him. And there was a moment when we thought she wasn't going to make it. Actually, no, she didn't pin him. I'm sorry. She made him
Made
tap.
him, made him submit with that chain, boy.
Yep, she
She
wrapped the
knocked the
chain.
hell out of his.
Yep. And he was trying to do it to her, and she said absolutely not. She low blowed him, and she forced him out, and it was delicious to watch. It was a very physical match. It was very brutal. I did miss the first couple minutes because I was in the act of recruiting someone to the knockouts. But it was it was wonderful to see. Everyone loves seeing Russell get taken down a peg. He's no longer the champion. Thank God. Lulu Larena came out and applauded Brittany afterwards, but I
He's such a
can't wait to
sweetheart.
see them. I can't wait to see them in the ring with each other for it. They're two of
They've
my
had some
favorites.
they've had some banger matches over the years, Brittany and Mexican Barbie, and now you got Muscle Mommy out there too.
Yes,
Uh,
Muscle Mommy actually, I believe it was the number one contenders match. Their audio kept cutting in and out, so there were some things we didn't quite hear. I believe it was a first like number one contenders match,
yeah,
and Maya Muscle Mommy defeated Lulu Larena, and I'm not sure of the name of the third competitor. I'm sorry.
it's okay. But it looked like there was a great crowd at Anniversary. The Anniversary show in Homewood always draws very well, but it looked like it had drawn more people than ever before.
Oh, absolutely. It was the biggest crowd I've ever seen there for Wrestle League. And actually, it was the first wrestling show for a couple of my teammates, and they were completely enamored. Can't wait to go to another one. So I think that it was. Oh, Shogun did the spinneroonie twice.
As he would.
Yes, he did it twice. They called him out and said happy birthday to him, and then we demanded he do the spinneroonie, and he did it once, and then of course everyone was like one more time, so he did it again. Trying to remember all the other matches. I was a little imbibed. I was a little imbibed.
You guys were having, was Rabid there?
Yes, Rabid was there, and Punchy and Whiskey kept me well stocked in the cocktail department. Um,
Punchy is a trip. I got to hang out with Punchy at Knockouts Bingo, and she had me laughing the whole time.
I love Punchy.
She is one terrific person.
Wait till I show you what I got for her at the thrift store the other day. I'll send it to the group chat.
I can't wait to see it. Like I
Trying to
said,
trying to
the other
remember
thing,
Well,
any other matches. But it's literally such a blur. It was just such a fun time. We all had so much fun. We all lost our voices.
as
Can't wait
long
to
as
do it
you guys
again.
that's the thing. Wrestling is about the fans enjoying themselves. So if that crowd rocked and everybody had as much fun as you did, mission accomplished
Yeah.
by Wrestle League. And they were missing some of the talent. They were missing some of their people from that
Yeah.
show. They were
Quite a
missing
few.
Lat and Adonis weren't there. They were missing Shaq Jordan. So they did it
yeah,
being shorthanded, which is a tribute to the greatness
And I
of
do
Dojo and that team.
I do want to apologize. I broke my own rule. I left early, but that is because someone who shall remain nameless, but maybe rhymes with candy, told me that Brittany versus Russell was the main event. So when it was over, I was out. And it was not the main event.
Oh, I heard it
oh,
was the main event. It wasn't the main.
It wasn't the main.
Oh,
what was the main?
It was Tumek versus
the
what's his
champ
name with the
probably, right?
frilly collar. He's with the Caribbean Cartel.
Yeah, it's the champ, the wrestling champion. I bet.
Yeah, him. I actually don't know who won, so if anybody knows who won, please let me know.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see the final outcome of the
I
entire show.
hope it was Tumek.
The cartel strength in numbers. You had you had the leader of the cartel sitting on commentary, so Humek didn't win it because there was cheating.
That's fair. There was a four-way that just reminded me because one of the members of the Caribbean Cartel was in it, and he was wearing a mask, and he came out to I think it was the Bonnie Tyler. Is it the Bonnie Tyler who did "I Need a Hero"?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, he came out to that, and if he listens to this and if he can speak, he was a very silent. I need to know why that song. It
you
doesn't.
sure it wasn't Jesus de Sof, the
It was
Timu?
not. It was not Jesus.
It
Jesus. It
wasn't
was
Timu Jesus.
no, it wasn't him.
And then who else is what's the new one, Steve? I don't like him.
Rozzy.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
Okay, fair enough. No, it
Ravi's
wasn't him
good people,
either.
but
It was it was
he
someone in a
aligns himself.
mask.
He aligns himself with bad news people. I'm sure the "I Need a Hero" song was done because he's probably warring with Latin Adonis as Thunder and Lightning. They're the resident superheroes of Wrestle League. So knockouts at Wrestle League, a splendid time was guaranteed to be had by all, and it clearly was. But now we move on to knockout business because this Saturday it's the first minors bout of 2024.
It is, and it is a minors rematch of the very first Premier League bout. Actually, it's Punishers versus the Crushers.
So it's purple versus blue, which is great. That's always an outstanding rivalry. I got a message today from Nan, who is doing commentary. I plan on being there, but I have to take my son down to Illinois Wesleyan this Saturday. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be back exactly. But if I'm back, which I should be, I will be there with bells on, ready to call some minors bout action. You have never seen skaters work so hard, try so hard, and be more loved by a crowd in your life. It's amazing to watch.
Yes, they are working really hard this year.
It's the
We've
scrappers and the
It's the scrappers and the tusslers,
yeah,
and which are the younger kids, and then the brawlers, which are the older kids.
right. That's right. The brawl.
And they're all coming into their own. We're seeing a lot less. I think the word I used a few weeks ago was a lot less timidity. They're really coming into their personalities and, you know, recognizing their own athletic abilities. And so it's very much leveled up from the last couple of years when they were still learning and adjusting and getting used to it.
So what's Miss Hazel up to this particular Saturday evening?
Hazel is a crusher, and her character is based on magic from Marvel. And Andrew's actually downstairs building her a sword out of cardboard.
You gotta love that. And I'm sure someone's gonna get
Mm,
injured with that at some point.
hold on. Marvel Magic Sword.
Magik.
Red's got its Marvel thinking cap on.
I really do.
I'm so happy Mr. Young, that piece of shit's
I
gone.
believe she's newer.
Okay.
Ooh, Red's Googling it.
No, I'm gonna let it be.
Yeah, she's in the Marvel Rivals game.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Oh,
Never mind.
if that's where she getting it from, never mind. Cause uh I downloaded that shit and I can't play that shit to save my life. I I don't know what I'm doing. You know what happened to the good old days
You're not the gamer you used to be. Is that what it is?
where's the instructions? You know, where's the
I picked it up pretty quickly because I have been very into Overwatch for the last few years, and it's actually very, very similar to Overwatch. Even the like the levels, sometimes they'll be like, I'm pretty sure this is like the castle from this level in Overwatch, and like you can tell like which characters are based off of which characters in Overwatch, like with their abilities and such. So if you haven't played a lot of like 5-on-5 games or 6-on-6 games
no.
like that, then I mean, it took me a while to understand
I
Overwatch. So
I just wanted to play one on one and I thought it was, you know, old school, you know,
nope.
uh, one person versus one person fight and next thing I know I'm in fight and then I'm dead. Today was the furthest I ever got and it was still frustrating as shit because I'm just hitting buttons trying to figure out what the fuck am I doing? I don't
Who
know.
who do you
And
play as?
so the first time
Iron Man.
I played no, I played today as Iron Man. First person I played as is Moon Knight and
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
know
Moon
shit.
Knight's kind of difficult.
And then today I played as Iron Man and my ass was flying in the sky. And I'm like, no, but the fight's down there. God damn it, the fight's down there. And everybody just shot me out of the air. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Let me put this shit up. So
I would suggest starting with someone like Squirrel Girl or starting with a healer such as Mantis. Mantis or Rocket.
never mind. I'm just gonna stick to Call of Duty.
That's fair. I actually have been very lax on Marvel Rivals these last few weeks because I got utterly obsessed with Dragon Age Veilguard, and it's become like my entire personality. And I have 3 profiles going right now, all different like classes and species and all that. I'm having a good time.
Well, that's
I didn't
me.
realize you guys were such gamers.
Oh yeah.
All I play is
Yeah.
Tecmo Bowl.
No, matter of fact, I didn't touch my game for months. And so I cut it on during spring break and I wound up playing Madden. And I went in and I was like, well, what happened to my franchise? And I was like, oh, I forgot. I finished that. I said, oh, okay. So then I went into, they've got a superstar mode, and I forgot I created myself in college football and graduated. And then when I cut Madden, I imported my character and I got drafted to the, because I didn't want to do the combine. I was like, fuck all that. That's too much button pushing. And I wound up going to the Giants, and I was like, who the fuck wants to play with the Giants?
Aaron
Like,
Rodgers, maybe.
no. So I wound up, and now, uh, like I was so beast in it that I became MVP of the year, rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, running back of the year, and something else. And it was like, oh shit. And so now I'm just like, I'm forcing myself so I can finish my contract so I can get the fuck out of New York. Uh, but so I'm stuck. Like I'm thinking, I'm mad I can't play Madden tonight. I'm like, ugh, like fuck, because I got to get at least 4 or 5 games in
All right, well,
today.
we'll wrap the package pretty quick. I'm looking forward to the Miners Bout. I'm looking forward to seeing Hazel's magic. Looking forward to my dog, Dazzling Donnie. He's one of my favorites. So they're all going to be there this Saturday night, HF
Man,
Auditorium.
you just, woo, you scared the hell out of me. I was like, looking forward to your dog. What? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you got a new dog?
Right. That's why I was like, what? Huh? What?
Dazzling Donnie is my
And your
dog.
dog's coming to the Derby?
No, no, okay, but let's move on. I'm sure Travis will rip on this too. Couple of things to talk about from the past couple of weeks. Uh, I want to talk a little bit about the Made Men. That's a CSW thing. Marche Rocket decided he wanted to be well, he wanted to do a little I can't see, you can't see me shtick. So Marche, instead of being a soul toucher and all day, is now Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, and Victim Cookies. And he has decided to say, screw the fans. You didn't like me anyway. I didn't get my opportunities, blah, 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 blah. And of course, Steve Boz was right there playing the rock in this film to push him in the right direction. And now they are the made men. And I sit there as general manager and I watch it. And since it's Boz, he has a connection to ownership, and the people with the money let him run amok despite my best efforts and intentions. So, what does ownership do at the behest of Boz? They bring back TJ Steele, whom I just fired after dealing with for a year. And now the Made Men added a new component to their arsenal as Bruce Hamilton, the gentleman barbarian, has joined the ranks of the Made Men. So now the faction is growing. It's 4 men. Tupu and Marston had an answer. Did you see that Ego showed up at CSW?
Yes, I did see that.
Which popped me like a child because I had no idea Ego was there. It was great to see him. He's in great shape. And he whipped Boss's ass so hard that he knocked his ponytail holder off. And Boss had this bad Skid Row cover band lead singer mullet thing going for a while, which, if you get a chance to watch it on IWTV, forgive the commentary because I was completely biased about going after that hair every minute I got. I couldn't take my eyes off of it because it was just that heinous. But that's neither here nor there. So they've commandeered the company again. And what I was accused of before as being general manager was not giving opportunities to the young athletes, giving it to the older ones. Well, here are the older ones doing what I was accused of doing, which got me bought out by TJ Steele. So it's a hypocrisy of epic proportions, and something has to give. Now, Boz made a mistake. And I'm going to tell you what that mistake was. He referred to himself as the godfather of Chicago wrestling. That is a mistake.
Wait, who said this?
Steve Boz.
Okay.
I know only one godfather. Well, I've known a couple of, there are a couple of godfathers out there that I would give legitimate claim to. Obviously, Red, Sam is oftentimes considered the godfather
He's
of
the only Godfather. So
well,
everybody else.
he bestowed that moniker to one of his own uh that I worked with at SCW for quite a while, and that is Terry Allen. So my godfather, my chairman, my president of Chicago wrestling is Terry. And now Boz is trying to take Terry's. So it's this weird Windy City thing. And I have to believe there's purpose here because Boz has to know that he's not the Godfather. I mean, he's got merch, he's got a Godfather Boz shirt and everything. But eventually Terry's going to find out about this. I mean,
Well,
maybe I need to bring in an advisor to CSW to help me through these challenging times. Maybe I call up Terry Allen and say, Mr. Godfather, someone's hijacked your shtick. Can you come help me out? How would that be? If I
wouldn't be
decided to
good.
invite Terry Allen to a CSW show and have him sit on commentary with me and tell people what's what about Chicago wrestling and its legacy. So I've got some plans for the Made Men. I'm sure it will get shot down by ownership because Boz is on their dime and Boz has got their ear. But you know what? You never know. If I called Terry
Well,
and said,
I,
Terry, you do me a favor, he might come out and do me a favor.
he might, but I mean, I think again, I'm not picking sides,
Of course you're
but
not.
I already see that you've already made one match for the upcoming show with made men of Bruss and Boz versus them young boys, Grayson and I
Valor.
can't think. Yeah. So,
I didn't make that match.
oh, you didn't
I
make that
I,
match?
I had no. Why in the fuck would I give Boz and Bruss, who have been a tag team for 38 seconds, a fucking number one contenders match? Hell to the no. I wanted to run back Machine 17 and Valor and Grayson and have that be the number one contenders match.
I'm sorry.
So, no, that has nothing to do with me.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, the general manager has become a rubber stamp. Things happen without my knowledge. Things happen without me providing any kind of direction. And something's got to give. I'm dealing right now with the Anestra Caro thing. I think I finally got a solution for the May show that will maybe put these guys in a position to end this thing once and for all. I'm not going to talk about it very much, but I've got some ideas. I'm in talks with some people how to put them in a position where no outside interference, just them doing them and try to get to the bottom of this hatred because
Oh,
someone's going to die.
okay. Well,
So we got things coming up. Tears in the Rain is the next event in April. We welcome NWA.
That is the most emo name I've ever heard of in my life. Who chose that?
Again, I don't get to make matches anymore. I don't get to pick names. It's above my pay grade, apparently. Maybe it's TJ Steele again. I don't know. I won the general manager job fair and square, but I don't feel like I'm in charge of a goddamn thing. They only let me talk on the mic at the end of the show. I tell everybody what's coming up next. I'm basically the outro ring announcer.
Well, tell them that that's the best they can do for the name of a wrestling show. They need to give up the reins.
All I can say is we welcome NWA superstar and one of the most talented women in the business today. Natalia Markova will be joining us, and Dante Casanova will also be in attendance for Tears in the Rain. Uh, and then that will be followed by the big blow-off show in May, where CSW is back to the big venue at Elmwood Park, and the likes of Tommy Dreamer, amongst other big name superstars. Kalisto will be there, so it's going to be a big show in May as well. So CSW is going to end the calendar year pretty strong in May. But as far as the made men go, I'm going to find a way to unmake the made men. And I'm tired of Marche Rocket whining and crying about how bad he's been treated. When before he made this turn, he already had a title shot. I took care of him like I said I was going to. And then he went all bitch on me.
oh, hey,
And now here we are.
clutch my
Here
pearl.
we are. But they never let me confront them. You know, if this was the old days, I would grab, they'd get in the ring and talk their shit, and I would walk right out there and say, But I don't have that kind of authority anymore. So we move on. Uh, so that's the CSW business I wanted to talk about. Uh, and we get to hear our guy sing the national anthem, and he's got his catchphrase now. So Jonathan, if you're watching, thumbs up, kid. We've got Rocket Pro coming up. I want to talk about that in a minute. Did you see the reactions to what happened at Frontline this past Saturday?
I have not. I just read the results.
Okay, so Aaron Xavier won his fatal four-way match in nefarious means. Obviously, you knew that was coming, shenanigans. So it was a good night for the Rapture, and the Rapture proved influential in the final match. What Ben McCoy and Joey Jet Avalon did in that final match of the night scared children, made fans uneasy, kept fans on the edge of their seats. There were people crying. The locker room was watching, and they weren't even hiding the fact that they were watching. I don't think I have seen two people. I think this might have been worse than what Brubaker and Capri did to themselves at CSW in the hardcore match.
Ooh, and I was there for that.
Yeah. There was no flaming table, but there was blood everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Ben bled. I think Ben had to get a transfusion at the end of the night. He lost so much blood. And Avalon owned him most of the night. But at one moment, Ben got through the defense and knocked Avalon loopy. And I thought for a few minutes that Ben McCoy was going to defeat Joey Avalon. In the end, Avalon gets a win, but as soon as that happened, the Genius came out and they destroyed the brutally battered and beaten pair of Ben and Avalon, to which the likes I haven't seen. They were smearing the blood of these people on each other. It was horrific. And we're on the road to Honor Bound. And the Rapture have a pretty solid team, led by Aaron Xavier, featuring Merrick and Rivera, and now Mr. Anderson. So that's a formidable team. The Rapture, as I thought was being destroyed, now might be stronger than ever, which is nauseating. But Ben has nobody on his team. I was hoping Sierra and Avalon would find their way to help him in this time of crisis, but I can't believe Avalon would ever do anything for this man after what they just went through. So it was hard to watch. Another bad thing that happened Saturday night is my guy Jared Jacks, the one and only Bakerville champion,
And I
lost his
told you,
title.
and I called it.
And that
Oh,
evil SOB, Joe Alonzo, who has now aligned himself with Coda Jacobs, apparently is at front line to stay as your new Bakerville champion.
I'll have to let Lethal know. He's got some beef with Lethally Blonde.
Oh, it was disgusting. And what Alonzo and Coda did to poor Kid Lat and Adonis in a talk show segment was just disgraceful. And finally, last but not least, the Liberty division continues to heat up as Rory Shield gets her first win in the division over Ray Larson in what was a fantastic match. So Frontline firing on all cylinders. The Bakerville brand has Climb to Glory, which is the ladder match where the winner gets a shot of their choosing. They choose the venue, they choose the stipulations, they choose the title. So it's all about your choice. It's not like you get a briefcase and you can sneak in and win it, but you get to pick your time and place where you get to take a shot at the championship or whatever you're looking for. So Climb to Glory happens in April, but in May, I'm afraid the future of Frontline is on the line as we approach Honor Bound. So that's that. April, busy month. We got a busy month coming up. Knockouts have two events in April. There's the Miners bout this Saturday, and then later on in the month is another premier bout. And who is it this time?
This time it is the Crushers versus the Rumblers.
The legendary clashing between blue and red. How many times have we seen those two teams try to kill each other?
Pretty often. The Rumblers have yet to succeed.
Well, I mean, you know what? Maybe the Crushers keep their streak, or maybe the Rumblers have something to say this time around. But again, that'll be a classic matchup. As the rec league and the minors bouts are fantastic fun for everybody, but something just hits different in Premier. It gets a little chippy, it gets a little violent, it gets very tense, and it comes right down to the wire. So, like I said, big month of April for the knockouts. Uh, RPW we've got coming up. We've got spring break next weekend. My buddy Shaq Jordan takes on the Dream Breaker Aaron Stone for the zero gravity title. I'll be watching that very interested, right, Red?
Yeah.
Cactus, were you aware of anything that transpired at the premiere bout during intermission?
It was.
I guess I have Rion to thank for saving my life, because Shaq Jordan came out to the knockouts even after bad mouthing the knockouts. And at intermission, he was making his way down to beat my ass. And Rion stopped him, talked him out of doing it that night, and sent him away. So, how would you have reacted if you would have seen Shaq beating me up?
I would have beat him up. How are you going to talk shit about my league? Can't even say it to my face, and then show up, buy a ticket, sit in my audience, and then try that. That is my house, Shaq. You are in my house when you are in the Homewood Auditorium.
Well, Shaq has got some gigantic testicles on him. But like I said, I'll be paying very close attention to what happens in that matchup. Just remember, I told Shaq very clearly after he smashed me with a chair that this wasn't over by a long shot, and there is a receipt waiting, and I'll get one on him, especially him showing up at the knockouts. That's sacred ground. You don't come into that turf.
And to wait for intermission when we're all in our locker rooms.
And I was there talking to fans,
So
and
for real, Shaq.
we were getting ready. We were talking about what we are gonna talk about, and we were getting with medical. I see who was not gonna be available. So we were doing all the halftime stuff that we normally do when this situation occurred.
I have to say, Boss would have rolled him up and booted him out the door.
Well, we've got a drinking game for Boss now. I don't know if you've heard.
No.
It's called Boss in the Box. Every time Leica gets in the sin bin, we take a drink. Last time it was 6 drinks, and then she was gone. She was kicked out.
Actually, 7.
7, Jesus Christ. I was a little hammered. I was a little hungover the next day, so I don't remember it all so well. But that's neither here nor there. So obviously next month we got a lot going on. Knockout, CSW, RPW, Frontline Pro. Is C3 next month, or is that May?
May.
All right, so May. Ooh, all the worlds collide in May, so we'll get through April before we start talking about that albatross. Maybe we'll bring Mr. Young back to meet some of his friends. Maybe we'll have the governor on the show at some point. But again, we got lots to do before this thing is over. Thanks for coming in tonight, guys. I'd like to say thanks to Mr. Young, but I won't. I'm sure you can.
I'll say it. Thank you, Mr. Young.
Traitor.
Oh, he said, "Thank you, Cactus. He loves you."
What is he over there having lunch or something?
No, he's looking at paperwork.
Is he playing Madden?
No.
That's good. That's good.
You want to say the state before?
The state.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
No, you don't want to see what he just.
No, I don't want to do it. The next 2 weeks on the Power Hour are a little up in the air right now, because I have some Tuesday night knockout business that one of those nights I have to do. So we're either going to take a week off, or we're going to do it on a Wednesday night. I haven't figured out which because I'm still waiting for Dia Beatdown to get back to me with the time and place for the theatrics.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I told her I would do it, so now I'm
Now
obligated.
you have to.
Now I have to. So I dressed like a mermaid, and if I did that, I'll do this. So I'm trying to Tuesday nights are the nights they do it. So we'll either do the show on a Wednesday if that works, or we'll just take the week off. Either way, if we don't do it, if I don't do it next week, we'll have a show and we'll have a guest, and I'll tell you all about that as we get a little closer. So we'll keep in touch with you. Thanks for being part of the show tonight. We will see you next week at some point. And thanks for watching. Thanks to the FreakNet Studio Network. Thanks to our good friends at JFW. Sure they'll have a lot to react to with this one. For Red and for Cactus, aka Lux, I'm Steve, and we'll catch you down the road. Good night, everybody.